New Xenos have been added to RMC14. First one I'll be discussing today is the Lurker. The Lurker is a direct evolution of the Runner. The Lurker is a Tier 2 Xeno. After a Runner has existed for over 10 minutes, they may have the option of evolving into a Lurker if the hive will support them. The Lurker features some unique abilities, and of course they feature Rest, Regurgitate, Watch Xenoid, Tail Stab. Unique abilities they have is Leap, which is different than the Runner's Pounce, and immediately I'll just explain that it doesn't work. And anyways, I believe the ability is supposed to be Pounce and not Leap, and I think it's supposed to work identically to the Runner's Pounce. Then we have Turn Invisible. This one's pretty easy to explain. Become partially invisible for a short time or until you attack. You do become rather hard to see. Battle conditions in this game are often really dark, and aliens have night vision, so they don't have to worry about this. But if I were to ghost out and look at it, especially on the darker contrast tiles, it is actually really difficult to tell where the Lurker is. The white claws are brighter though, and that's probably what's going to give you away. But in a darker tile, you may not be seen at all. This lasts for a decent time, like 20 to 30 seconds. But if you are to attack, you'll instantly reveal yourself. We feel our invisibility end. Finally, we have Crippling Strike, temporarily charge up a melee hit. This does work with Tail Stab, and what this does is it applies a 25% slow to the first Marine that is hit. Next, we have the Spitter, which is a direct evolution of the Sentinel after waiting 10 minutes, and the hive will support you. We have Rest, Regurgitate, Watch Xenoid, Tail Stab. We also have Corrosive Acid, which is no different than the normal. We have Xeno Spit, which is launched as a projectile to deal damage to the first enemy that it hits. The damage is pretty good, and the range of this is actually rather fast, and the range is actually rather good. The cooldown of Xeno Spit is really short. You probably should be using this as your primary form of attack as a spitter rather than meleeing. It only costs 25 plasma, and you have a pretty large plasma reserve as a spitter. Plus, you should be staying in the back line, so getting back to your Wheeze to regenerate shouldn't be too difficult. Damage of each spit is pretty decent. It does like 18-ish base damage. I'm not entirely sure how it's resisted by armor, but either way, it's a pretty decent chunk of change for damage for a range attack that does not put you in direct vulnerability of Marine shotgun fire and other close range attacks. Then we have Charge Spit, which charges up your spit, making it do more damage and have less range. You must use this pretty quickly or else it will run out. And the damage increase is massive. It is over double, but you are using way more plasma per spit. So I feel like doing this is good. Getting Marines to be forced into the back line, have to heal, getting them off the front line, and the fact that it's a different type of damage requiring burn treatment is pretty powerful. They also have Scattered Spit, but this is a placeholder ability. This is the same as a Sentinel Scattered Spit, and it will be replaced when it is done. It is a placeholder ability, like I said. Next, we have the Warrior, which is a direct evolution of the Defender. It takes 10 minutes if the hive will support you. Rest, Regurgitate, Xenoid Watching, Tail Stab. Then we have the unique ability Punch. Punch is a targeting Marine dealing a hefty amount of damage as well as slowing the target. It does knock them back about 2 tiles, and the damage is about the same as one of your bites, so it's really useful for displacing Marines. One thing that is really powerful with Punch, and I don't know if this is intended, you can actually bite and punch a target at once, so you essentially double hit them. Next, we have Lunge. Lunge is a warrior towards a target Marine and puts them into a chokehold, like grabbing them. You'll jump onto a Marine from a few tiles away, and you'll automatically grab them and knock them down, allowing you to pull them in any direction that you wish. A really strong conjunction to use this with is Fling. Fling is a targeted Marine a few tiles and damages them. This is bugged at the moment. It does not actually do any damage. Really powerful combo is to lunge and press H to let them go instantly and then fling them towards your fellow Xenos. It launches them a solid 4 or 5 tiles, maybe even further depending on if they hit any walls. This can really displace a Marine and basically get them through. It might get them perma killed. Very hard to pull off, but if you do manage to pull it off on a small group of Marines and you have friendly Xenos to be able to take fire or to drag them further into the hive, you're good to go. While the Crusher is not technically available naturally, it did appear in the playtest. The Crusher is supposed to be a Tier 3 evolution from the Warrior. We got the usual Rest, Regurgitate, Watch Xenoid, and Tail Stab. The Crusher does not have all their abilities. They're not even naturally implemented. It's supposed to take 18 minutes, I believe, to evolve from a Warrior into a Crusher if the hive can support you. Charge, click on until you want to charge after a brief non-cancelable wind-up time. This can be used from pretty far away. You don't even have to be looking the right direction. You'll auto-face. If you hit a Marine, you'll do quite a lot of damage to them, and you will knock them down, knocking their weapons out of their hand. And the damage, like I said, is really high. It's higher than most abilities currently in the game. Then we have Stomp, which is slam the ground with a 5x5 AoE slowdown that affects all hostiles in range. This is not fully implemented, and it does not do any form of slowdown. However, though, if you're out of range, it will do literally nothing, but if you end up being in range, it will do a shit ton of damage and knock down any Marines for about half a second. That's enough to make them drop a weapon. So right now, it's not even technically a fully implemented Xeno, but they have some pretty good damage potential. And finally, the Queen has gotten some new abilities. We have Gut, which is gives a mob you decide to gut. You basically just click on a mob, and once the do after bar is done, you will give them, aka permakilling. We also have Screech, a wide area of effect stun, screeches upon activation. It costs a lot of plasma. These characters are each a tile away, and I'll try to stand in the center of this tile and use it. It has about a 3 to 4 tile radius stun. It's hard to know exactly where you are on a tile as a queen because it's having such a large sprite. But it's an instantaneous, pretty long-lasting stun, but it has a massive cooldown, so don't expect to get any chain stuns. Anyways, I believe that is all the new abilities and all the new Xenos that were in this playtest are not in the previous one. If I missed something, I can always cover it in a third part anyways. Not too big of a deal. I want to thank our RMC14 maintainers and contributors for adding all this cool stuff. The game is moving fast. I hope to be able to keep playing it and hope to be able to catch more playtests. Or if it goes 24/7, then I can just play it whenever I want and not have to stress about making a playtest. Thank you for watching.